Hello, and welcome to this collective reading. This is E-Star Tarot, and this is a timeless and collective reading today for the collective to see what we need to focus on right now because there's a lot going on in the world and there's quite a lot of distraction happening. And I think right now it'd be good to, yes, beep, have a reminder of what is important to focus on right now. What do we need to keep our focus on to help us to remain stable with everything that's going on? And I drew two significator cards. I meant to draw just one, but two came out. So, that's how it goes. Um, so, yeah, we got Althea and the Tear. It's interesting because Althea is referring to truth, right? Facing the real truth, even if it's something we're afraid to see. And pair with the tear, I think that has a lot to do with grief and recognizing things that have happened maybe in our past or that we're going through right now that have really hurt us and have caused a lot of significant pain for us. So, truth is really important to see in those moments because we can't process our grief unless we really look at the truth. And the truth of our own grief too, because sometimes we push that down even. We push down our sadness. So sometimes facing the truth is just facing that we're sad. And, but, for me, I think just interpreting it on my own, I think sometimes we have traumas in our past and we really do run away from them. So, and if we don't ever face them, we don't ever heal, and that's not what's best for us. And so right now, the most important thing to focus on, I think it truly is actually facing the grief, facing the pain, and letting ourselves cry. Because when we push it down, we don't let the emotions out and they don't go anywhere. They don't leave our body. They just stay there forever and recycle through our system. And that's how we get a dysregulated nervous system. That's how we get different health conditions, problems like autoimmune diseases, things like that. So, I think it's in your best interest to face the grief because you deserve to be released from it. You deserve to move on from it. And if you don't face the truth of that, don't face the harsh truths of what happened or what we need to see, then it can become, we don't see ourselves, we don't witness ourselves, we don't witness our grief. Because it's expressing our grief is like also being a witness to ourselves, a witness to our own pain. And so there's a truth in our own pain that we need to recognize, All right, let's get some other cards here. I was trying to see what Spirit wanted me to choose for cards, and then it was like all the decks, so -1. So we'll go with that. I've got the Moon deck right now, Moonology. So let's see, what does the collective need to focus on with this grief? I think that's the thing you need to focus on, but is the grief. But can we get some more clarity to help us? Your hard work is paying off. Yes. So really, I think you are doing this. I think you are working on yourself a lot. I think you're seeing the benefit because you're realizing things about it that you never realize, like, sometimes we don't realize how bad the wound is, or sometimes we don't, or we don't even recognize ourselves in it, like how well we did just dealing with that wound, or like how far we've come from that wound. So, Capricorn likes to push and work really hard, but they're kind of bad at acknowledging it. They kind of just keep working because there's always a new goalpost. But you need to celebrate your progress. You need to acknowledge how far you've come, how much work you have done to help yourself to really face it. I want to get another card here. Oh, there's one. You're very close to achieving your goals. Yes. So I think you're going to have a breakthrough soon. I think it's going to be over soon. And not to say that, like, our grief just goes magically away. It doesn't. But I think you're going to come from, a really hard time into a time that's much, much easier. I think you faced a lot, and this is what you're doing. You're facing the truth, and that is going to lead. Oh, this kind of fell in a funny way. Yeah, confidence is your key. I didn't really shuffle, but it flew into my hand a little bit. I don't know if you saw that, but anyway, I have gotten this card a lot, actually. This is a gibbous moon, but these two are new moons. So yeah, that goes along with, a new phase. I think you're coming out of this time of grief. And this is really, like, I almost feel like you're going to meet someone new. Or maybe it's just like your relationships will change. I think I get a really big sense of like you're moving on to a new phase of life. Like you're really going into something different, a different way of being, not just like seeing different people and things. I think you're actually going to be in a really new place that is going to allow you to move on in a way that you don't have to live in the sadness of this so much. But the key to it, I think, is that final release. I had a kind of an emotional release recently. I sort of had that moment. Sometimes we just need to like go off somewhere by ourselves for a while and maybe just have a big cry. I've had a lot of meltdowns before where I just needed to really let it out. Even scream it out. Sometimes people do that and it really moves the energy. Like if you're very sound-based, frequency-based, I feel like a scream or a cry can really have an effect. Because sometimes it's literally like we push down emotions at a time where we really needed to express them, and you almost have to have that meltdown later, even if it was like as a child. So when you cry, it'll almost be like a child crying. Don't hold yourself back from that, like, and think you're too old to cry like that. You absolutely aren't. You should cry like that if you feel the need, because it's not going anywhere until you release it to the universe. I also just want to draw attention. I didn't mention it in the beginning of the reading, but I felt called to have the twin quartz in this reading that I own. It's really, really, I really like this quartz. It's really, I don't know, something special about it. Yeah, so maybe you're drawing in someone that's going to understand you. It's going to really help you with this. Maybe bring some lightness into your life after, a kind of a dark time. Okay, let's get some tarot cards also. Just to expand on the situation, what's coming. Okay, so we got that. This card actually, and this card as well. Anything else? Oh, yeah, that one for sure. Oh, two. Let's just do that. I think we're good. All right, so we've got Two of Cups. Yeah, right on target. So we are seeing either a relationship, a friendship, someone that really understands you. And oh my gosh, look at the angel between them is a little lion face. And then we have the lion here with new moon in Leo. Maybe this person has some lion qualities to them. Yeah. Kind of bad focusing. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. That's really interesting. I think this is gonna, and I also think this person will come in more as you do this, like you do this work, which you are doing. So don't stress and think, oh, I'm not doing enough. You definitely are. I think actually you just need to acknowledge it, really. I think you need to acknowledge all of it. Your work, the pain, how painful it was, and how much work you've done. Really acknowledge yourself. And we've also got Four of Swords, rest too. Maybe you had to take a big rest, right? As you kind of processed a lot of this. Maybe you're in that kind of phase now and you've been sort of isolated and grieving, but I think that time's actually going to come to an end soon. Interesting. I think that's kind of confirmation. Wow. So funny. There's hardly ever a car alarm that goes off like that, but it kind of came off timely, didn't it? Yeah. Hopefully it ends soon. There we go. Right as I said it. But honestly, I feel like that was kind of a signal to say, hey, I think this might be coming in quickly. And I think the sort of emphasis on rest there might be to do with you also need to rest to let this in. And that's what this is about as well. Like, sometimes part of grieving is sleeping too and resting, because it's quite a lot to deal with. We really think emotional work and pain is like invisible, basically, but it has a really physical effect on us. And, it might be important for you to rest right now, as much as you can, just to allow the energies to work and to help you. Also got King of Pentacles. Maybe this person's a King of Pentacles type, but I also get the sense that this is like the universe acknowledging to you that you have financial safety. Because maybe you think you can't take a break because you got to keep working and you got to keep going and you got to have security, but you actually can take a load off because the King of Pentacles is here to support you. Yeah, they're not going to let you go under, so to speak. I don't know, maybe you're running a business and you're really burning out, but you don't need to do that. This is the important work. And if your business were to somehow fail, it was meant to, and that's not to say you should just let bad things happen. It's just like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But what's important is you work on your heart and keep your heart safe and make sure that you're in alignment with your heart. Oh gosh, the world. Yeah. The world is looking after you. And things are kind of go in motion right now. There's going to be kind of a destiny thing coming in here, right? Probably with this meeting. Maybe this is a partnership, a financial partnership coming in. And it's kind of like brought on by like the spirits of the world. The world can also mean completion. So I think it's also about completing a grief cycle, like completing a big part of your emotional journey. Yeah. Ooh. That's a lot of work, It's nothing small, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. So don't think that, oh, I got to do this and this and this. It's not as important as this. I really mean that. Judgment. You know, when I think about this with all the things going on in the world, it's sort of like, I don't know if you believe in angels, I do, but I think the angels are really taking care of things in the world. And you don't need to take those burdens on yourself. Yeah, with the world, I feel like really they're like, don't stress, you're going to actually be taken care of. And the things that happen around you that seem really chaotic are not burdens you're meant to have. They're going to resolve themselves. So it's not something for you to focus on right now. What you need to focus on is yourself and fulfilling your needs, your emotional needs, and making your life brighter. Because even if there's really bad things happening in the world, if you are in a right vibration, even if that means you can't participate in those things to help them, that in itself can help the world because you're bringing light to the world with your happiness, with your vibration. So sometimes the best way to resolve a problem, resolve issues in the world is actually to live our life in happiness despite what's going on. And that can help the world. Yeah. Oof. Let's get angels. Angel deck, archangels. Oops, sorry if that was loud. Just dropped the box. Oh, the cards don't want to come out today. They're sticking. Okay, so angels, do you have any loving guidance to give to help us to keep ourselves in alignment, keep ourselves from sinking into despair? Yeah. Indigo and crystal children. Interesting. Archangel Metatron, he's been really talkative lately with me, so I feel like that's a signal in itself. You have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. I really like these colors on the angel wings. The pink and the green, greenish blue. Archangel Metatron, yeah. What he's been vocal about is sending light out into the world, you know, because it can really, really help the world. And I feel like that could be also about you as a person, could be one of these indigo or crystal children. You're one of those people that are going to bring light to the world with just in how you live your life and how you choose to show up in the world. And so if you do that, if you fulfill your mission, essentially, you know, you don't have to worry about all those things going on around you that are stressing you, because you're already doing the best thing that you can do. And this also might be to do with this processing. Maybe it's because of this that this is so hard on you, you know? It's been hard to process this grief because you're so sensitive. You are a sensitive person. You really feel things deeply. And when someone hurts you, it just cuts so deep. But it's not and it can feel like a burden, but it's actually a gift. Because like this card says, you will help the world, and especially children who are like you. So that's a worthy goal. And I don't think you're going to fail at this. I actually think you're really right on track with taking care of that. Yeah. Angel cards are so loving. Let's get another one. Okay, there was this one. I'm popping out. Let's see what it says. Teaching and learning. Well, that goes right along with that, doesn't it? Archangel Zekiel. Keep an open mind and learn new ideas, then teach those ideas to others. So yeah, right now it's not a time for you to focus on the stressors in the world. This is a time for you to go inward and keep learning what you're learning about yourself and what you are trying to understand about yourself, because you're going to be a teacher. You're going to, whatever you have gone through and have experienced, it's going to help others because you're going to teach them what they can do to get through that same pain as well. And it's going to be so helpful that it's better than if you were maybe you're, I don't know, looking at TikTok a lot and seeing all the controversies on there. Oh my gosh, I think I have like 10 different things I'm following right now that get me all stressed out. There's lots of wildfires happening right now. There's Roblox. There's a million different controversies going on right now, and it's so overwhelming. And one person is not meant to carry the load of all those things all at once. And even if you tried, you couldn't help with all those issues all at once. So, we can show up on social media, and voice our opinions to help. But, at the end of the day, the things you focus on in your personal life and your daily life, the people under your nose that you can help, so to speak, that's going to be more effective than anything else you do. Yeah. Wow. I love these golden wings. It's so... Yeah, this is like you're literally bringing light to the world with your torch of light, which represents, your learning, and you've got a book here. Maybe you'll write down your experiences in a book that will help people. Yeah, I definitely get that from this. Oh boy, that is exciting. So very positive. Let's get a crystal card. Put these guys aside for now. Kind of made a funny sound. All right. Put the book over here. Let's see now. I love these cards. They're so, I don't know. They're just special. Let's see what crystal cards want to give us for help. What loving advice can we give to the collective that will help them to recognize their ability to help others? What can they do? What's important? Oh my. It kind of fell in a dramatic way. Orange sapphire. So bright and beautiful. I really want actually to get a second card, I think. Do I need a second card? No. Okay, actually I don't. All right. So orange sapphire. That makes me think of, like creativity and but also like joy, personal joy. So, I'm just peeking in the book actually, see what it says, and it says joy and sensuality. So we're right on track. Yeah, respecting your body and loving your body. Yeah, so, it's appreciate your body because when we go through a lot of stress, our body really, even though it's really tough, our body absorbs a lot of the stress to keep us safe. But now is a time where you really need to get back to your body, and you've really got to take care of it so that you can feel joy in it. So when you do that, you're kind of, if your body is like as above, so below, right? If your body is a microcosmos of the macrocosmos, say the planet is the macro, your body is also like a planet. And so, it's better if we can take care of our planet, right? And I think right now there's been maybe some personal neglect that's happened because so much is going on that we kind of get off our routines. We get into a place maybe hyper-focused. I know I'm very guilty of hyper-focusing and then forgetting to eat, or we can forget to shower, or we forget to just do the daily things to take care of ourselves. And maybe you are doing those things, but you're not doing it in a way that brings you joy. Like you're not cooking really fun new foods to eat. Maybe you're not like, we can have a shower and just shower, but then we could also shower very slowly and massage your body and put lotion on after. There's a way to make it a very joyous, sensual experience that can restore us in a great way. And I find moving slowly really helps with that. It really reminds us to just take in the moment and not just be a human doing, be a human being. So I think, and creativity goes along with, an orange color sacral chakra. I think this does have a lot to do with joy in your body, but I really think also doing that is going to let you have more creative energy in your body. And what I mean by that is whatever you want to bring to the world, it doesn't have to be necessarily something creative, like being an artist or a writer, although it very well could be. I get that sense with the book here, but I think it's also just because sacral is all about, like sexual pleasure or and that's also pleasure in your body and like just what am I trying to say here? Just being in your body and really listening to it. Maybe that's also what the tear is about too. You gotta really feel the grief in your body. And I do emphasize, like, if you need to cry, like a real bodily cry, really do that. Even if you have to drive somewhere really abandoned or isolated, and like just so you can let it out with no limits, I've done that before. I've really like parked my car somewhere and really, really let it out in any way you want. I think that could really benefit you right now, just to get some release. Because when we move that energy out, new energy can come in, and that can really, really help us. Yeah, it can really help. Do I want more cards now? Yeah, let's get some Ostera cards. Sorry, I keep banging the decks here. I kind of just throw the card boxes and they just go where they go, right? I'll get a bigger desk at some point. All right, let's see what Ostera has to say about how we can unlock that part of ourselves. Ooh, eggshell pots, 12. Connect with the essence of purpose within your intention, and all will be revealed. It's so funny because, like, we were talking a lot about sacral, and if you're a woman, say your sacral is probably where your eggs are held. But it makes sense too, because an egg can represent birthing creativity, birthing a project, and like sometimes we sit on an egg, so to speak, when we're getting ready to create something. So I really get the sense that this is like, and I really see you're resting here, but then these eggs are blooming. So I think rest really is your key. Rest and having, letting the eggs bloom while you're resting. Yeah. And look, you got these little spirits and guardians here that are helping with that blooming process. Actually, it's almost like they're planting in the eggs. Yeah. They're using the eggshell, because what this is using eggshells to start seeds, essentially, like before, which is something you would do in springtime because you wouldn't be able to plant outside necessarily, but you could use an empty eggshell to plant seeds in, and then they would bloom, and then you could plant those later. And the eggshell would be perfect because it has nutrients the plant can eat, right? So it's very organic. There's no waste, so it's a very nice natural process. So maybe you just have to also go for simplicity too. Don't feel like you got to do anything too complicated, because actually you're more productive when you're rested and when you allow it to happen. That's very feminine, allowing things and receiving things without pushing for them. Yeah, the feminine way is to let things unfold in their time. I can't quite fit everything, can I? Move these up a bit here. Just move everything up a bit. Yeah. Might look a little messy on camera, but you know, we're working on it. Yeah. Interesting. I want to take another card here. Oh, I picked it up and there's one in the bottom. Usually that's what it is. Okay, nothing is ever late. Everything is as it should. Trust is the salve. Oh, I love this card, Lamb. It's so soft and gentle. And that's exactly what we're talking about just right now. We just said it, that you got to let things happen. Nothing is ever late. So, and look, she's got the same flowers too. And they're coming out of her sleeves. Like they're literally the same flowers. So everything happens in its own time as it should. You don't need to push, you don't need to rush. And that goes the same with grief too. Like don't push your grief processing either. Do it as you feel it. If that makes sense. I guess the best way to do that is to, if you feel spontaneously like you want to do something, even if you have plans to do something else, say, or it conflicts with your plans, just go with it. Just go with when things don't go according to plan, right? So yeah, don't let things unfold. Yeah, just let them unfold and let yourself rest. Don't push. This is a sacred time to rest and to process everything. Your guides are making sure you're financially secure, so you don't have to stress about that. If you're stressing about maybe you're off work and you're worried about getting back, don't worry about it. That's not what it's important now. You're not a human doing, you're a human being, and you need to be, and you owe it to yourself. Oh my gosh, and I think that's about acknowledging too. You got to acknowledge that you have been through some rough things, and it's not crazy to take a lot of time to deal with that, because if processing it doesn't happen overnight. It really doesn't. It happens in stages, and a lot of times there's a lot of progress suddenly, but then we have to then sit in the after of that and process that, and then we go along to the next thing. So oh my gosh, this video is getting long, 30 minutes. I better hurry up. All right, so yeah, let's just end with the butterflies. Oh gosh. Yeah, sorry if that was loud. Epiphanies and realizations. Yeah, so I'm just gonna take that one. This is pretty self-explanatory for me. I think you've got to let those epiphanies happen. You've got to let you've got to give yourself time to let the epiphanies happen, let the truth happen through the grief. This might even be like, I don't know if you do things where you sort of write out your life, or you, you go year by year and you write out your whole year and then what happened next, just to make sure that you really acknowledge the things you've been through, and make sure you don't miss the processing of that. Aging gracefully, yeah. So I think doing this will give you a new lease on life, like you'll feel youthful again. But I think also, as we move through life, we do have a lot of things that happen to us, and I think you handle it with grace. I think you do. I think you are really letting yourself handle that sadness. Ooh. Maybe that was confirmation. Yeah, I think you are really just allowing yourself to become more mature, in the sense that, like, maybe you're just kind of moving to a new phase of understanding in life. Maybe a new realization that you're pretty powerful for having gone through the things you've gone through. Yeah, I think you're actually just kind of realizing what a powerful person you are. Realizing that you have made it to this age with such strength for going through everything you've gone through, that it's like, yeah, wow. A lot of this reading is about acknowledgement, acknowledging what has been, and celebrating your progress, and also just everything that you have conquered. Yeah, you've got to really, really, and that will come from maybe that activity I mentioned, writing it out and being like, wow, I really went through a lot and I came out really well, like better than most people would. And just in acknowledging that, sometimes that can really shift our perspective, shift our vibration. And also with this new kind of companionship coming up, maybe it's also about, like, Two of Cups could also be a new love for yourself, in realizing this. But also I think, if there is a new person coming in, I see it here as like, nothing is ever late and gracefully aging. I get the sense that maybe this could be, maybe you're at an older age and you feel like you've been through a lot, but actually there's a whole new life headed for you, and maybe that comes through a new person. So, and you don't have to stress, because you're not going to be late. You're not going to be, everything will be divinely timed. So, you can rest and not worry. Just let it flow. Let the flow happen. Confidence is your key, and you're doing the good work. So just keep going. Yeah, just keep going. But love your body and love yourself. Okay, I think that's all there is for this reading, and it got pretty long, but that's okay. Sometimes they're long. I really wish you the best, and just take care of yourself and love yourself. Okay? All right. Love you. Bye.